Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pert. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. So today, it's the end of the week. We've made it yet another time, another Friday. It's the 18th. 18th, last Friday in the astrological sign of Sagittarius before we move into the next sign, which will take place on Monday. Some of the aspects we're looking at today, there was an opposition between the moon sign Pisces and Jupiter, which is expanding things. That took place at 2:42 a.m. Coming up at 9:14 a.m., the sun is going to square off with the moon. So we have Pisces and Sagittarius, emotions and ideas, working to learn some sort of a lesson there. Indeed. The sun wants to bring truthfulness to a situation. The Sagittarius, Pisces wants to bring the emotions. So we got fire and we have water. Lesson between those two, the ideas and the emotions. And then we go into a void of course, 9:37 this morning, and the entire day up until 3 p.m. is going to be in the void of course until the moon goes into the next sign, which is Aries. So just as a little reminder here we have Sagittarius. We're here for the next couple days. This is our conscious mind, the sun sign for this month, looking for truthfulness, the higher ideals, and so on. Our moon sign is currently Pisces, represented by the tarot card of the moon. Pisces is the emotions. We come out of the water. We come out of this realm of water, emotional, and we have the armor, the represented by the shell of the fish here, of the crab coming out of the water. And then we have evolution, which takes us to the pillars of what we know and into the unknown, at which point we need to have faith and trust that what is ahead of us will be guided by the light that shines before us and around us. And then finally, the moon sign is making the transition to the next sign, Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, the leader, the pioneer, he who sets in order. So we're moving to a place where we're getting ready to look at all of these thoughts and ideas and now organize them a bit more. And once we get into the organization phase, it always helps us to be a bit more effective with what we're doing and how we're doing it. All right, moving on over to the moon phase. Today we're at 50.4% way full. First quarter of the moon is here. And we're moving towards the full moon, where we will be next week, the 25th. On the Jewish calendar, today is 6 Tevet. 6 Tevet. The daily thought for today is mind over heart. True, our hearts are not in our hands, but our minds are. We can think about whatever we decide to think about, and therein lies our power. The mind rules over the heart, not just as the rider rules over his horse, but in much more intimate sense. For the mind is the father and the mother, the seed and the womb from which the attitudes of a person are born and then nurtured. The heart does no more than reflect the state of the mind, its turmoil, its resolution, its shallowness, or its depth. its coarseness, or its maturity. This then must be the focus of the person who wishes to leave this world with more than he arrived, to engage his mind with all its intensity and thoughts that elevate and inspire, and push away with equal force any thought that drags down and holds back, and to allow all that labor to pass through the channel from the mind to the heart and give birth to actual deeds. Okay. The Dreamspell Oracle, we're at a 12-tone day, ending up this wave spell of the star. So we've been shining bright. Now we're getting ready to make that jump. This is the crystal tone, meeting with the council, so to speak, of deciding where we've been and where we're about to go. We're about to make that jumping off point next day, tomorrow, with the enlightenment that we have gained through shining this light within us. The phrase for today is I dedicate in order to catalyze universalizing energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of magic. So we have the guide is the monkey. The kin for today is the storm. Like-minded energy is the sun. Enlightenment, purification is our challenge. And inspiration is our hidden power. Space weather. The solar wind is currently at 398.2 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index, quiet at the moment. Over the next 24 hours, we could become unsettled. Coronal holes really aren't facing our direction or anything that we could see there. There is one gathering down here, opening up, but no Earth facing at the moment. Let's see what our flare possibility is here. M-class flare possibility is 15. X-class is 1 geomagnetic storm activity, 35 in the mid-latitudes. High latitudes jumping up from 50 to 70, so there is starting to be some activity taking place in the atmosphere around us. And finally, when we look up in the sky tonight, first quarter moon, 10:14 a.m. Eastern Time. This evening, the moon shines more or less on the eastern limb, the left side of the great square of Pegasus. Can you see the moon moving with respect to this line as the hours go by? And there you have it. That is our cosmic weather for today. So plan accordingly as you go about throughout the course of this day. Use the energies around you to make this an awesome day. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. So, let's see what we have here today. First story here, UFO buzzes India Space Research Organization, says Shepard. All right, let's see what we have here. It says a mysterious flying object has reportedly been sighted by shepherds over ISRO's Manindangrai Center and neighboring forest areas. Police say the shepherds who were grazing cattle claim to have seen a mysterious object flying over the cryogenic testing center of ISRO yesterday. However, ISRO officials denied any such flight over the center. About 55 kilometers from there, police said the shepherds had told them that the object flew near the 7th Watch lower tower where no one had been posted for a long time. Officials of police and forest departments were interrogating the shepherds to ascertain exactly what they had seen. So this is the site here, which, as you saw, looks like a UFO. And yeah, I see it wants to give me some challenges, but that's okay. We're going to move on nonetheless. This one, man in California spots hovering UFO above the ocean. All right, and let's see what we've got here. If we can get there, that is. All right. A man in Canada has captured an incident he believed involved a hovering UFO 200 feet over the ocean while he was out on a camping trip. Mr. Shepard was sleeping under the sky with his wife named Kensington. Prince Edward in Canada filmed the bizarre light. In a description about the video, Mr. Shepard narrates that he sees flashing bright on and off, reminds him of a dreidel or a spin top. He adds it's a very big and appears heavy as well. From Mr. Shepard's perspective, it says about 200-300 feet above the ocean. He notes no land in front of him. It's very bright. The lights are very bright. He says probably well over a kilometer away, but it's big. So I can't, could be even further, and it's really emitting a glow. It's lighting up quite a bit of the area around it. The reporting witness is certain it's not a ship because they can see the bottom of the object above the water. MUFON uploaded the video, which just disappeared. There you go. Gene said the witness and his wife are for an annual camping trip. Mr. Shepard saw the bizarre massive light over the ocean. Okay, so I'm having trouble with this link. There we go. See if we can make this work here. 7 minutes and 46 seconds is the link to this video. And I'm just going to leave this to you so I can move on with the next piece here. Okay, what we have here is a story of, do UFOs reside in Avalon waters? It's been a question that has come up for quite some time. Catalina Island is known as a boating destination for the quintessential relaxing weekend getaway where boaters can lounge on the deck while taking in the sights. However, there is more to see than the harbor's crystal blue waters, as one sailor reported a UFO in Avalon harbors. According to an Open Mind TV post, a UFO sighting was reported by a family sailing to Catalina June 15, 1982. In the testimony cited in the MUFON database, the witness was sailing with his stepfather and his mother to Catalina when around 8 p.m. his mother yelled to look over the port side. I looked and saw a huge lighted object moving fast under the water, according to the witness testimony. It lasted around 5 minutes, just going from one side and then to the next in a crisscross pattern. We sailed west, moving away from it as it moved east. I never told anyone about this, nor do we talk about it. The object was 50 feet in a circle and bright as more watts than I've ever seen, the witness said. My parents stopped sailing after that summer. An event such as this is not uncommon, according to the website mysteryportals.com, which lists several coastal sightings documented by sailors who witnessed various UFO ocean crossings in local waters. Reports include a bluish-silver cigar-shaped object flying overhead. Sightings made by fishermen off the coast of the Newport Beach on July 10, 1955. A Washington family sailing from the Newport to Catalina also reported a sighting that same day in 1955. Let these sightings serve as a reminder that sailors keep alert while making that 26-mile stretch. You never know what you'll see. Okay? You will never know what you'll see. Here's a story, says UFOs over India said to be missiles. It's the end of the world, exclaimed rattled Chennai residents as UFOs lit up the sky. Chennai, it was a very scary evening on Wednesday for most of the sky gazers in the city as they could spot unidentified objects moving in the sky, entailing smoke. The rocket launch from the India Space Research Organization spaceport in Sriakota was highly visible across the sky. Many in Vesperi came to the streets to see them. 4 objects were seen in the sky. Unconvinced that they were satellites, some were apprehensive that this was an indication of the world coming to an end. There has been talk of the world is going to end soon, but it seems that this is going to happen today. I could see the 4 stars in the sky moving fast to the other direction. There is one of the signs that the world is going to perish, said a rattled security guard of an apartment there. Most of the people who were also aware of the launch were cool, but those who had no knowledge about it were caught in amusement and fear. I was aware that it was the 50th rocket launch by ISRO, but a lot of people in Besnat Nagar Beach were in awe of the unidentified object in the sky with smoke, and said Kanan Blancharadran, who is in the area and the secretary of T. Nagar Residents Welfare Association. This added the fear of Chintalites who have been hearing rumors every day that the world is going to end before this month and after the deluge. As we witness unusual floods, people are rattled to see any unusual things, and this clearly visible of the satellites for the first time in the city surely added to that fear. Okay. And one last UFO story for today. Thoughts about the natures of UFOs in the future by Steve Erdman. This is a long article here. I'll just give you the intro and I'm going to leave it for you. It says the Reverend Scott Gerald Prinzner is a PhD candidate in the history of science at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He recently made comments that appear on the minds of many people. Since my youth, I've been drawn to the world of science fiction, to books and film depicting human life shaped by futuristic science as wondrous magic. I understood that these stories were really speaking about our present-day society and pointing out the opportunities and the dangers posted by our progress. Maybe that's why the most interesting aspects for me was the vision authors imagine for our future. How will humanity respond to the problems we are facing today? Will we ever overcome disease and aging and outgrow the need for war and brutality? Within these past 4 years, 2 books approached these questions, but more so in the vein of the UFO mystery and its possible beginnings, routine, and future relevance to science. Keane Thomas' investigation into the June 21st 47 UFO incident and dumping of UFO fragments into the Puget Sound near Tacoma, Washington also went into parapolitics. The Oliver Stone 1991 movie JFK, CIA agent Clay Shaw, and the mysterious CIA asset Fred Chrisman, who seemed to mesh into several paranormal and political incidents in 47 and over the years, making one wonder if a mosaic of the 47 events, Roswell crash, the 47 creation of the Central Intelligence Agency, and the creation of the 47 Air Force UFO project sign the 1947 Operation High Jump, which met heavy resistance by UFOs, the 47 creation of the National Security Council, and the Comet or Communications Intelligence. They didn't collectively have something to do with Pandora's box of reality having been opened, and whereby unleashing infectious demons that have yet to be resolved. All right, and go through the article. It lists a number of different experiences. A lot to the article. Okay, so there you go. A little bit of UFO history, a little bit of thoughts on where it's going, so on and so forth. And that is our UFO news for today. I'll be back momentarily. Stay tuned while I prep the next part.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
All right. Back. Continuing. Here we go. All right, so this this week we've been discussing and going over the flat Earth, also known as the enclosed system. And the interview I've been playing for you is an interview that I did. It was with Mark Sargent. There are others out there that are researchers in this field. Mark was the one who I happened to do the interview with. That is why I wanted to play that. But I'm going to provide to you now a link or a lot of links to a lot of other videos and documentaries on the subject of other very qualified individuals. What needs to happen with this is people need to look at the subject with an open mind. No matter who you're looking at, no matter which person is showing this, you need to be open-minded. You know, one of the things that I do notice in the areas of this conspiracy theories and research is there's a lot of infighting that goes on. A lot of infighting, and that really is detrimental to the cause, because instead of people working together, egos get in the mix, and one person's more of an expert than this person, and this person's a shill, and this person expert, and this person's a shill, and on, and it just gets nonsensical after a while, because it defeats the purpose. It's a divide and conquer technique, and that's not really necessary. What we need to do is we need to all be discerning on the information that we have and decide for ourselves what's real and what's not. We need to stop fighting with each other because we're all trying to get out this information. Sure, there are people out there that are shills, somebody trying to muddy the waters, but not everybody is out there, and not everybody is attempting to do that. And sometimes we see that titles and labels are thrown out that are just simply that, because one person doesn't understand how they feel about the other, so it's a shortcut to thinking, so to speak. You just throw out the word, he's a shill, and people stop looking. I think it's important that we learn to separate the message from the messenger. We need to separate the message from the messenger, because if we get caught up in the messenger, once the message is delivered, if we're still focused on the messenger, we start to see the life of the messenger might not have the perfection that one might think one should have to be a messenger. But the job of a messenger is simply to deliver a message, and that's it. And so people look at all of the other things around it, and they say, oh, this messenger has a problem. His life has this going on, and he's a shill, and he just puts it. Nonsense. We need to separate the message from the messenger in all cases, because sometimes the messenger might not be the best representative, but the information might be quality. And if we disregard something simply because we don't like who the messenger is, we might miss something important. So what I say is keep an open mind. When you hear and you are aware of the infighting that goes on, just disregard that. Look at the information that's going on. People argue with each other. People and personalities have different conflicts amongst each other. Egos get in the way. We need to look past all of that. We need to look at the information that's available and not allow the other issues of what one thinks of this person or that person to get in the way. And if we can each one of us look with a discerning eye at the information, I think we'll find ourselves progressing along the way. And we'll find out that everybody has a piece of the puzzle. And when we stop fighting with each other, we'll find that we can put this together to make a really awesome picture so we could truly see what's going on. Okay? So, that being said, I'm going to start by showing you, first of all, if you hear about the flat Earth, well, let me just go here. I'm going to show you this list of videos. These are lists of videos for you to watch, documentaries on the subject, so you can learn. First one here, this is the first one I watched. It was called The Flat Earth Conspiracy Documentary by Eric Dubé. Really awesome video. It's, I think, about 2 hours in length. I would highly recommend you watch this one. Eric is certainly an expert in the field, and his information is really quality information. Makes it easy to understand. I've reached out to Eric to do an interview with him, so hopefully that will occur sometime in the near future. There's a couple other videos here by him. 200 Proofs the Earth is not a spinning ball, and also Ancient Flat Earth Beliefs. And Ancient Flat Earth Beliefs gets into exactly what it says, the beliefs of the ancients. And what we find is that the mindset and what the ancients believed about the Earth and the shape of the Earth is different than what the modern people believe. And the modern people believe things because we have NASA, which has said, hey, look, this is how the Earth looks, and here's an image of it. It's not a real picture, it's just a composite, and so we think that that's how things are. This next one here, NASA Insider exposes the flat Earth. This is a really good video. You might want to check that one out. The video is this guy named Matt Boylan, and he claims to be a NASA employee or had worked for NASA, worked in the field of graphics, in which he was as a photorealistic painter. He would paint space images for NASA, and these images would then be used in the different images that are shown to the public. In the course of the video, he explains how while he was working there, he had been invited to a party, Christmas party, and went to the party, and all the bigwigs that were at the party there, and they began talking about the flat Earth. At which point he thought they were pulling his leg, playing some sort of joke on him, but they didn't stop, and they kept going. And that led him to go and look at the different paintings and the images that were put out about the Earth, the Moon, and so on, with a discerning eye. And once he started looking at things a little differently, he realized the same techniques that he uses in painting are the same techniques that were used in some of these other images. So he really sheds light on something that could possibly be very real. And so I think it's very important to check that piece out there, see what he has to say. Then from there, you've got the Flat Earth Clues. I just did the interview with Mark Sargent. I think Mark did a great job of really breaking down this subject into a variety of different sections, so that we could really look at the very different ideas involved. And these certainly are ideas that definitely, come to mind as we're looking at this subject that need to be addressed. What are all of these various different clues? Are they real? Are they not? Well, we need to look at it with a discerning eye so we can decide what is up and what isn't. Of course, link to the interview if you want to hear the whole interview without interruptions. Under the Dome, another great documentary. Flat Earth Answers, Proofs and Truths, another documentary on the subject. NASA and the Flat Earth, a global conspiracy. Another one, The Earth is Flat, You've Been Fooled. And Scientists Vote the Earth is Flat and Why. So, a whole variety of videos on this. Not to mention that when you go to these various pages and you look up any of these videos and you watch them, just look to the right hand side and you will see a number of other videos that were there listed on the subject. And I encourage you to watch all the videos that you can find on this subject. Ones that you might think are false information, ones that you think are real information. Because by looking at all of the different information, you will find out that there are some that make sense and some that doesn't. And the truth will show itself to you through this way. If there's videos out there that talk about any of these people being shills, watch it. See what's being said, and then decide for yourself if that is real or not. It's real easy for somebody nowadays to point out and say the person is a shill, the person's, has an agenda, and sometimes that's true, but sometimes not necessarily. So we need to be aware, and never hurts to be aware of what is being said about somebody by others, because maybe people are saying things because they have their own agenda. There's all different variety of reasons. Nonetheless, we need to look at all of the information for the subject, against the subject, and everything in between so we can decide what is going on. Here's a site. This is the site of Eric Dubay. It's called the Atlantean Conspiracy, exposing the global conspiracy from Atlantis to Zion. A lot of great information over here at his site. He really gets into the subject of the flat earth in great detail as you go through. So I'm just going to suggest you take a good look through this site, and you'll find that there's a lot of great information here for you. And then, of course, a couple others here. This is called the International Flat Earth Research Society, not to be confused with the Flat Earth Society. Why are there two of them? Well, again, this goes into what I was talking about. There are those who think that the Flat Earth Society has been infiltrated by disinformation agents. And so the International Flat Earth Society was created in order to present information from sources that say they're not, infiltrated. However, if you go and you read through some of the reviews, you'll see that people say that the International Flat Earth Research Society has been infiltrated as well, and that the other society is right. So again, it's the same argument. I'm right, he's wrong. I'm right, he's wrong. Don't go there because that information is false, only mine is real. You know what? Look at all of it. Decide for yourself. Think for yourself on what's going on here. Because common sense will dictate what's right. All you have to do is read through the information and start putting it together, and pretty soon you start to realize that the various discussions and the various anomalies that you notice stick out more and more once you're made aware of them. It's like once you see behind the curtain, then it's hard not to notice the man behind the curtain pulling all of the strings. Okay, so there's that. So just to reiterate, what we have here is we live on Earth, a planet, and we are told that this planet is round like a ball, and that this planet is rotating, spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and that we maintain our self being on this ball without being thrown into space, because as the ball is spinning, there's this force that is helping to keep us down upon the planet. So if the ball stops spinning, does that mean we would all suddenly start rising up into the air? We'd fall off the ball? Does that happen if you're at the top of the ball versus if you're down underneath in another location? That's sort of, if you think about it, it starts to bring up a lot of questions. How are we on this ball spinning 1,000 miles an hour and not feeling it? How is it that we look up at the sky and we don't see the clouds moving by at 1,000 miles an hour? A lot of questions in there. So here we are. We're on this planet, and the flat Earth model says that this is a flat plane. It's like a dish. There is 4 sides to it, 4 corners, and that this Earth has a dome over it called the firmament. So I think it's a very interesting, fascinating topic. I think we've covered it in good detail over the week. I think that the interview and the information Mark provided was really good and easy to understand. And now I'd like you to go look at these other videos and make comparisons for yourself. That's all I can ask, is for you to go and look at this information with a discerning eye. Don't get caught up in the messenger, but look at the message and look at the information of each one of these. And you'll start finding out from video to video, from information to information, you'll start seeing similarities and realize that the story that we've been told is different from the actual findings and the observations that are out there. That's it. You know, you have lots of people trying to say the same thing, and they all kind of do it in their own way. It's sort of like in, politics. You hear one person get up and they say how they're going to do something, and then everybody else who follows after that person oftentimes says the same thing that that first person said, but they add their own little flair to it, so you think it's just theirs, or they act like they're the ones who came up with this idea. And at the end of time, of all of them talking, you realize that they're all saying exactly the same thing, just using different words to say it. And unless one is not paying attention, you think they're all saying something different. Oh, I like that person because they said they're going to do this. Oh, this person over here says they're going to do this. This person's going to... On and on. You don't understand. So we need to be more discerning. That's all I say. That's the message over and over and over again. And all this infighting that goes on is just ridiculous. Too much infighting in the world. Too much infighting here in America. That's why we're having the problems. When we stop fighting with ourselves, we realize that there is a common aspect to all of us that needs to be, promoted. And that's who we are as people. We need to not get divided because there's efforts out there to divide us. The one thing that is a common thread is there's a battle between light and dark, between good and evil, that is going on and has been going on for quite some time. And the only way we're going to get through it is if we stop fighting and be able to pay attention so we can see what is truly taking place. All right, I'm going to switch gears here now. Here's an article over at Body, Mind, Spirit. And this is an article, as you can see, about Keanu Reeves. Neo. You see these people behind me? They are rushing to work and not paying attention to anything. Sometimes we get so caught up in our daily lives that we forget to take time out to enjoy the beauty in life. It's like we're zombies. Look up and take your headphones out. Say hi to someone you see and maybe give a hug to someone who looks like they're hurting. Help out someone. You have to live every day like it's your last. What people don't know about me is that I had depression a couple years back. I never told anyone about it. I had to fight my way out of depression. The person who was holding me back from my happiness was me. Every day is precious, so treat it like that. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so live today. I hope you share this post and spread love. All right, and here's a little addendum. It says, what Keanu is saying is very reminiscent of a Rosicrucian belief where your goal in life is not to be happy, but to experience as much as you can. It's within those experiences you'll find happiness. I have to force myself to go to the beach every so often because I'm truly a workaholic. As the owner and editor of In5D and Body, Mind, Soul, and Spirit, I work between 10 to 15 hours every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I have nothing to sell on my websites and give away everything for free, but every so often I find I need to ground myself, so I'll step away from work and hit the beach for a couple hours. When at the beach, I always try to take a walk of gratitude where I thank the Creator, Universe, Source, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, friends, family on both sides of the veil, our galactic neighbors and friends, Mother Earth, and my higher self. I express love and gratitude to all, and that I will continue to listen and to be guided with an open mind, ears, and heart. I also ask for protection and safety in all areas of life. I never ask for anything materialistic because materialism is what divides us as people. I also added Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian code of forgiveness. I don't think I pronounced that right. It's Ho'oponopono. And basically it includes this 4 phrases. Thank you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. And I love you. I then head back in the other direction and do a love bubble walk, and invite my Creator, Universe, Source, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, friends, family on both sides of the veil, galactic neighbors and friends, Mother Earth and my higher self to join me. I ask that they magnify my feelings of love and healing and extended out as far as possible through our planet, our galaxy, the universe, the multi-universes. On my walls, I envision a love bubble that encompasses everything and everyone around me. Sometimes on this walk, I'll smile and say good morning to people who make eye contact with, but inside I'm saying I love you. You can do a love bubble walk anywhere. Try it sometimes. Every day is precious indeed. Make the most of it, not just for yourself, but for others as well. Well, that's a very good advice from Keanu and also from Greg Prescott. You know, isn't that what life is about? We get so caught up in all the little trivialities of life that we forget what's really important. We get caught up in the he said, she said comments that are made, and we get distracted from the important aspects of life. And when we take time out to stop and look around and realize what's important, we find ourselves dealing with things in a different way. So that seems to be our encouragement and seems to be what's necessary, especially as we go through these days where there is so much fighting, so many opportunities in order to be divided. We have, and we can see very evidently, that our governments of the world are trying to divide us every way that they can. In America, it's very evident because of all of the issues that are going on. We divide ourselves politically. This side is right, that side's wrong. We divide ourselves by skin color. This skin color is better than this one. We divide ourselves by gender. And yada, 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 on and on and on. It's just ridiculous. We need to come together as people and realize we are all earthlings upon this planet. Earthlings upon this planet. Yes, we live in various countries. Those here in America are Americans. But in other countries, other citizens of the world, have their own understanding of where they're at. And regardless of where we're from, we're still all earthlings. We're still all human beings. And we seem to have forgotten that. And we just fight unnecessarily. So hopefully the fighting can stop. Hopefully we can see through the issues at hand and realize that the reason the fighting is going on is because we are being put in areas and pushed into fights by the powers that be. Because if we keep fighting with ourselves, then we won't notice all the things that they're doing in order to take away our freedoms and our rights. It's very important, my friends. We can be our own worst enemies, or we can be the heroes that we've been waiting for. It's all up to us. What are we going to do? All right, here is a message for today. This is a message from Archangel Michael, and it's about new challenges.
New challenges. Archangel Michael, December 17th, 2015. Channeled by Daniel Scranton. Welcome. We are here to serve and assist you. Before you incarnate into your physical body, you formulate a plan for your lifetime. You could say that you have a rough idea of what you will experience and what challenges you will face. And then you arrive in the physical, and there are challenges that come up for you that you did not expect, that you did not see coming. These are the challenges that you are more likely to have a great deal of success with. Because when you are faced with a new challenge, you have no history of not overcoming. You have no baggage. You have a fresh and new perspective on that particular challenge. And when you are able to take on one of these new challenges and demonstrate to yourself that you are capable of meeting it and of overcoming it, you then show yourself that you are powerful. You demonstrate to yourself that you are in fact a creative individual who can handle just about anything. And so you take the strength that you have gained from that new challenge, and you use it in facing one of your predetermined challenges that you have faced in many other lifetimes as well. And so you see, the challenges that are in your life always serve you. They are meant to give you that sense of mastery, power, and strength. And as long as you are willing to face every challenge that comes your way, you are putting yourself in a better position to move on, to move beyond that which is familiar and that which has been an obstacle for you. So seek to find your strength in the face of all challenges, and demonstrate to yourselves that you are in fact powerful and creative beings of light and love. We are Michael. We are infinite. We are love.
All right. Good message about how to move through challenges and the understanding that we certainly are facing challenges in the world today. We know about that. We definitely know and understand there are challenges that we are facing. Okay, here is The Warrior of the Light. We're just about to the end of this book. Here we have page 141. When the order to move on comes, the warrior looks at all of his friends he has made during the time he followed the path. He taught some to hear the bells of a drowned temple. He told others stories around the fire. His heart is sad, but he knows that his sword is sacred, and he must obey the orders of the one to whom he offered up his struggle. Then the warrior thanks his traveling companions, takes a deep breath, and continues on, laden with memories of an unforgettable journey. So here's the last bit, the epilogue. It was dark by the time she finished speaking. The two of them sat watching the moon rising. Many of the things you told me contradict each other, he said. She got up. Goodbye, she said. You knew that the bells at the bottom of the sea were not just a legend, but you could only hear them when you realized that the wind, the seagulls, and the sound of the palm fronds were all part of the pealing of the bells. In just the same way, the warrior of light knows that everything around him, his victories, his defeats, his enthusiasm, and his despondency form a part of his good fight, and he will know what strategy to use when he needed it or needs it. The warrior does not try to be coherent. He has learned to live with his contradictions. Who are you? He asked, but the woman was already moving off, walking over the waves towards the rising moon. And there you have it. So we've gone through the full book, Warrior of the Light. I wanted to read that to you in each and every passage because that's who we are. We are warriors of the light. Warriors that are bringing light into the world, and we all have a part to play. And so that book, download the PDF. That book, as you've heard, as we've gone over each and every one of those passages, is filled with wonderful reminders for us and how we remain strong and how we move through life. And we basically do it as a person living upon this planet, knowing that we have faults and weaknesses, but we also have tasks and duties. And we work to overcome our faults and our weaknesses so that we complete these tasks. And as we do, we find ourselves becoming better and more adept at what we're doing. It's just part of the process of life. And too often we get critical of ourselves and we get critical of others. And in that criticism, we know that nobody benefits from it. It's just something that keeps us occupied from really seeing and knowing what's going on. So I hope you check out that book. I'm sure I will come back to it another time and read through more passages. But for the time being, the link will be available so you can check it out. Download the PDF and read through this. Make it a point of looking at one every day. Just as a good reminder, I think I've read through the book. I have the book right here. You know, I've got the book. I've read through this book many, many, many times. And some days I'll just pick one of the passages and open up the book to one of them, and I'll read through it and go about my day, just like we've been doing on the show. All right, there you have that. And that finally brings us to our meditation for today. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath and exhale. Take another deep breath and exhale again. And another breath and exhale. Well, let's just imagine ourselves walking through life, walking down the path of life. And as we do, we walk with a bubble of love around us. We think about all the good things we have in life, and we give thanks to the Creator for providing all these opportunities and blessings that we have available to us. We give thanks to all of those who assist us, those in this world and those in the unseen realms. We take a moment as we are walking and moving through life to contemplate the role that the Creator continually plays in our lives, and the lessons that we are continually being challenged to deal with. And we know that there is much to learn, much to take in. And so we do the best we can each and every day, knowing that we can only do so much. And at the end of the day, we imagine ourselves taking time just to pat ourselves on the back for a job well done, for doing the best we could do, and then finding a way to do better the next time. And as we go through the world, we call peace upon this planet. Peace that we might stop fighting with each other. Fighting with each other here in America and fighting with each other around the world. Though we know that peace is only attained when everybody puts down their weapons. For one side cannot do that and expect that the other side will not continue their ways. All sides must choose peace. So let's imagine now, across the planet Earth, from one end to the other, let us just imagine all the people of the earth deciding that they want peace, deciding that war has become worn out, and that we are ready for a positive change. And as the majority of the people come to this understanding, we find that those who are creating the wars begin to dissipate, and the wars come to an end, because more and more people choose peace. And as more choose peace, eventually the whole world chooses peace, and the fighting ends. So let's just imagine a earth in complete peace, where from country to country, earthlings enjoy life, appreciate each other, and continue to find ways to make the world a better place. So let's just move through life today, letting our subconscious mind send out peace into the world. Send peace to us. And let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is the show for the week. I hope you enjoyed the subject and that you continue to study it. For those of you who were unfamiliar with the Flat Earth theory up to this point, welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the subject that will have you seeing things in a different way. And don't worry about the ridicule. People that ridicule are those who don't take the time to look at some information. And as we know from looking at this, there's something to it. So we just need to keep exploring and not allow ourselves to be distracted from looking for the truth. For the truth shall set us free, and we all know that all we have to do is look for it, and we shall definitely find it. That's it for the week. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great time. I'll be back next week, and we'll continue on. Till then, I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.